We got a ton of really good 99 overall cards in MLB The Show 22 today in our Field of Dreams program, BR program, and event. We have a lot of cards to go through on this tier list Tuesday, so I'm going to go through all the big cards in the program, give my initial thoughts, and I'm going to tier list all the content we got today together and give you an idea of who you should be prioritizing to get on your team and the ones you should maybe be putting on the back burner or maybe not taking in your choice packs. Without further ado, let's get into it. This is our featured program. I do want to start going through the featured program cards because this is the big thing. First of all, we have a classics pack. You guys know how these packs are. Nothing really too great to make many teams usually. And I would say the same holds true in this pack. Not bad cards for your all-time teams, but you know, who's starting Ryan Mountcastle on our God Squad at this point? I don't really think anyone. But once you get to, what is it, 150k XP, you get your first boss pack. So there are 3 different boss packs. There's the Flashback, Future Stars, and Legends. You get one of these bosses, and then you get a bonus pack, which includes all of the cards. So you can get 4 of the total of 9 bosses. First, you have the flashbacks. You have Joey Votto. If you don't have a first base option down pat now, he's a good one. Thing is, I don't know, just like 192 power at first base is a little underwhelming. Not really that valuable at a very power premium position. I mean, people like Votto cards, but it's one of those things where it's like, there's better options at first. Yadier Molina, I mean, has contact and good defense, and they were nice giving him 41 speed. He does have the catcher pop time quirk, meaning he's gonna be a good defender, but unfortunately for Yadi, there's not enough hitting on this card to really warrant using him. I mean, again, like Diego Cartaya, for example, is better at a 98. Joe Mauer is still great. He brings more power to the table. There's a lot of better catchers at this point in the game, so again, this feels like a back burner type card in this program. Zach Greinke seems like the pick in this round, though. You get pretty good control. I don't 100% get pitch control. Like, I don't know exactly what it does, but at least Greinke's 100 walks per 9, so it will be good at having good smaller pars with 100 walks per 9. 110 Ks per 9 means his opponent's vision is going to be reduced a little bit, smaller outer PCIs. 98 hits per 9 is pretty nice, and I like this pitch mix. Future Star, guys, I think this is where you have some of the better cards in the program. We have our better Future Star cards finally entering the game. Grayson Rodriguez, he's got 107 hits per 9. And some people are upset because he didn't have a sinker, but I think this card might be really good, especially on like Hall of Fame, Legend difficulty, where the velocity could be really an impact because he is outlier 1 on the 4-seam. The walks per 9 is a little low, so he's not going to have incredible control, but he's going to have outlier in the 4-seam and a way slower cutter, so he's got really good change of speed in this card this year, which I like. Last year, his pitch mix was kind of I think this one's a little bit better and he's got good velo. I like his viability a little bit more this year, especially with the 107 hits per 9. O'Neal Cruz is nasty, like especially if you parallel this card up, he's going to be filthy at shortstop. I mean, you compare him to Anthony Volpe, who you get a grinded BR program for. I honestly may lean towards getting this card because the contact is just a little bit smaller in terms of PCI size, but defense will be similar, speed will be pretty similar, and this card brings more power. If you play on All-Star, definitely give this card a go. And then Riley Green. This card I think will be the go-to guy if you really like Hall of Fame Legend difficulty. The high contact is great. He's got good power. This should be a great outfield option for many teams. Honestly, I'm considering giving him a go in center field, or I should say in the corner outfield if I don't want to use Andrew McCutchen. And then our Legends pack. You got Al Kaline, who's definitely more so of a bench bat versus lefties or a platoon option. I mean, not bad for an Al Kaline card, but just a little weak versus righties to really make many lineups. And with 63 speed, he's going to be a corner outfielder anyway. Brian Roberts could be a viable second baseman. Maybe you don't like Jackie Robinson. Maybe you just want to like directly upgrade it, Ketel Marte. Like this card could be really fun. He's not incredible, but a good second base option at this point in the game as a switch hitter. And then Ron Santo is actually really well-rounded. Good contact and power, especially at higher parallels. He's going to be an elite defender at third. And with that fielding and speed rating, he will be definitely a good fielder at short or second, which makes this card a really versatile card. So I actually like this card a ton. However, you know, George Brett is definitely better overall than this card. That's an obvious one. Same with the 99 Lightning Riley. And then you have your other pack. You can choose one more player. If I were, you know, to choose one of each pack, I would probably be choosing pack 1, Zach Greinke. Pack 2, either Grayson Rodriguez or O'Neal Cruz. I think they're very valuable. And then pack 3, probably Ron Santo, but I don't know if I would be starting any of these players. Then in this fourth pack, I would choose one of the future star guys. The other one you didn't take. I think these are the more viable cards of the entire bunch to use on your team. Then if you keep grinding, you get your Takashi Home Run Derby All-Star Game packs. So we like free packs in the program. It's a short program, so you kind of got to get grinding right away with the event and all this other avenues of XP like the Showdown and the Conquest. But that's not it for our content today. We got more. We got our BR program. First of all, in our BR program, we got our Flawless Awards, but we got to talk about Kevin Youkilis, the program card at 90 stars. Honestly, not bad if you're going to play him at third base especially. You know, solid defender, good versus left, but I just don't see many people actually starting this card. This will actually be a less valuable BR program card than that Mike Napoli card. Napoli, I think, was more well-rounded and valuable as a catcher option. And in his rewind pack, speaking of which, I don't think you can get Napoli in this pack yet. I'm not entirely sure how you can get that card, if you even can again, so we'll see what happens with that. And then our Flawless Awards. First, we got Anthony Volpe. I mean, compare him to Oneil Cruz. Better contact, worse power, basically similar defense at the expense of arm strength, slower speed, but higher steal rating. I mean, I want to use Volpe because, you know, a Yankee fan, very fun, but I'm definitely not rushing to get this card. Very well-rounded, but not incredible. I mean, Noelvi Marte is really close to this card. And then Mike Messina. I've been saying, like, 96 Messina at this point in the game is a little outclassed. Giving us a 99 is perfect. This card should be a direct upgrade from the 96. Actually a really viable starter, kind of like the righty equivalent of Al Leiter. So I like this card a ton. Should be a nice starter, especially with the higher hits per 9. And the 105 walks per 9 is nice. They really showed off his control, like, oh, his control break is really good. Still don't know about the control and what it does, but the break being really good is nice. And then finally, there is the new event, the Field of Dreams event. You can use any players you want in the event. First, we have a 97 Chris Bryant. This is from MLB 19. I don't see many people actually wanting to start this card as much. I mean, fielding. Positionally, you can play everywhere, which is nice. And a good bat versus left. But I don't know, this card doesn't bring enough hitting to the table for me to really see people other than Cubs fans wanting to use him. And then Nick Lodolo actually should be a nice starter, lefty with the sinker. If he's anything like his older card in MLB The Show 20, he would be a very nice lefty starter at this point in the game. Doesn't have outlier, but at least back then his release was a little bit different, where like it kind of worked out on his card. But I would say this is a good starter to try if you're still looking for some starting pitching help. And then, you know, last of all of our content today, we have a new headliner, Grady Sizemore. This is one of the more like cards of the day. Like, not a bad fielding center fielder, but just not enough hitting to bring to the table. And, you know, we have a lot of center field options right now that are better than Grady Sizemore. But he'll be a budget headliner and a cheap finest card to stash in your inventory for future collections. So there's value in that at least. And now we got to tier list all of the cards together. I'm going to tier list only the cards in the current program and the content we got today, just so you have a gauge of who I would be prioritizing. However, based on the content today, I gotta try it all, see how players play, and really experiment with them before I could really individually rank them position by position. But I would like to take a guess that all these players would at least be A tier in each position that they play. They're at least viable to use on your team if you want to. But to start off with our program cards, Yadier Molina, kind of B tier. At least he's, you know, at a not as deep position of catcher. I could actually see people wanting to give this card a try because catchers are slim. Grady Sizemore, I'm going to put in the D tier. This doesn't bring enough to the table to really make lineups this point in the game. I'm also going to put Kevin Youkilis in this front. Just like kind of like not that he's a bad card, but of all of our content, one of the cards you're not really looking to use on your teams right now. Joey Votto, I'll put in the A tier. Like, he's not super viable, but a good card to use. Like, you can get away with using him, but not a really exciting card to use at all. Al Kaline, I'll put right next to Yachty. Actually, no, I'll put him in the C tier because he's going to be only a bench bat, I would say, for many people, but at least he's viable in that front. Zach Greinke, I think, is definitely a good pick in the program to get a solid starter. Nick Lodolo, I'm going to put in the A tier. Definitely could be a very viable starter, but I don't know how incredible he'll be at this point in the game. I just realized this is Brian Reynolds I put down here. Brian Roberts, sorry. Brian Roberts is A tier. Grady Sizemore is D tier. Grayson Rodriguez is an elite pick. Same with Oneil Cruz. Both these guys are elite picks because the velocity Grayson Rodriguez has and the good attributes. and Oneil Cruz is a top tier shortstop option. Volpe definitely is an S tier type guy as well. I mean, if I were to be getting all these cards, Volpe's a guy I would be getting. However, with his price point, being realistic, if we're not talking about the card itself, you probably want to put him on the back burner because you have the entire month to grind a BR program and get him. Chris Bryant will put right next to Al Kaline. I mean, at least a good bat versus left, more of a bench guy, if anything. I mean, at least he plays more positions than Euclid, so I like that over Uke. I should say, I mean, there isn't much different other than he could play center. Ron Santo, definitely an S tier caliber player, like a good player to use. But again, the S plus tier guys I think are a class above, like are really good cards to use. Riley Green I'll put here as well. Outfield is so deep at this point in the game. If you don't have a center fielder you like, get him. But there's so many good options at this point in this game, I don't think they're like must use. And then Mike Messina, S plus tier. Righty equivalent of Al Leiter. So going through all this tier list, your D tier are the cards I would be kind of not going for much today. Your C tier you could definitely kind of go for, but are more of a niche purpose. B tier, you could maybe get away with using if you don't have a catcher. A tier, if you really like the players, actually are good uses on the team, just not elite at this point in the game. Your S tier are definitely like starter viable cards, but again, they're better and more exciting cards in the program, and those are the S plus tier, which I have Grayson, Cruz, Volpe, and Mike Messina, who I think are the biggest cards and the ones you probably want to add on your teams today. If you guys enjoyed this tier list Tuesday, make sure you hit that thumbs up and let me know in the comments how you think about the content we got today, and I'd love to hear your thoughts down there. I appreciate you all watching this tier list Tuesday, and next week we'll add all these cards in the 99 Griffey we're confirmed with into the entirely tier lists with all the positions, all the players. Appreciate you all watching, and I will see you all again on the video tomorrow. We'll be back with the coupon scanners, but we'll be debuting a bunch of these cards later in the week as well. So make sure you sub to the channel, keep an eye on the rest of those. I'll see you all again on the next one. Deuces.